Oh, hello. You've just caught me having a look at some art, actually. I love looking at and experiencing art. Drawings, sculptures, performance, installation art, photography, paintings. The list is endless. It's fascinating trying to work out the secrets that each piece of artwork might have to tell us. Art, I believe, helps us to see the world through the eyes of someone else and gives us the opportunity to understand their unique perspective. The Amelia has a wonderful collection of art. Shall we take a look at some? In this video, we'll investigate some art and we'll give you some pointers for how to look at art. Then, we're going to set you a make your own challenge inspired by the art that you're going to see in the video. Come on then, let's get investigating.
Whoa, goodness me, I didn't see you three sitting there. Oh, hang on a minute, this is a painting. So what should we do when looking at art? What's the big secret? Well, first, take a good look. What can you see? What do you feel when you're experiencing the art? For this painting, some first impressions might be, there are three children in the painting. They're dressed in old-fashioned looking clothes. They look pretty formal, as if they're dressed up to go to a wedding or something. The children seem quite serious, although the boy is holding a sort of tennis racket, and the girl on the right is drawing. What are they up to? Looking at the style of the painting, it's not possible to see any brush strokes, so we could assume it's painted in a very realistic way. Everything looks correct. By that I mean all of the arms, legs, bodies, head. They're all in the right place, so this is not an abstract painting. The colours seem a bit dull to me, a bit dull and drab, but then again, maybe that's what life was like when the painting was made. The question still remains, who were these children, and what's the painting all about? Does it have a meaning? Looking at the art is a great start. But what other clues can we find to help us understand the art a bit better? The title of an artwork might be able to tell us something about the painting. The title of this painting is Children of the First Earl of Camden. So, who was the first Earl of Camden? Well, Charles Pratt, aka First Earl of Camden, was a lawyer, judge and politician. He was Lord Chancellor from 1766 to 1770. Many of his legal decisions also still inform the legal rights that we have today. He was given the title of the first Earl of Camden as a sign of great honour and to confirm his importance at the time. And the Pratt family, or Camden family, lived at the Bayham estate on the outskirts of Tunbridge Wells. So the Right Honourable First Earl of Camden sounds like a pretty big deal. And these, then, were his children. Now that we've managed to find out a bit about the people in the painting, what about the artist who created it in 1767? Sir Nathanial Dance-Holland was a successful portrait painter and one of the founding members of the Royal Academy of Arts. He painted many prestigious people, including King George III. Knowing when the portrait was painted and who painted it gives us more clues as to the potential meaning of the painting. The 1700s and early 1800s, the time that our painting was painted, is often seen as a golden age of British portrait painting. A popular style at the time, the grand manner portrait, was a style that aimed to make the person depicted appear superhuman. Artists created large and imposing images that conveyed wealth and power. Artists like Nathanial Dance used all the tricks in their book to emphasise the greatness of the sitter. Impressive poses, beautifully painted clothes, and of course a little theatrical lighting. With this in mind, and knowing that Nathanial Dance would have been paid to paint this painting, does that change the way we look at the painting? Do you think the artist was completely truthful in his depiction of the children? Power, prestige, and importance. That's what this painting was made to show. It isn't really about the children at all. It's about a successful, accomplished man showing how powerful and important he really is. Family portraits, like this, had pride of place in grand houses like the Bayham estate where the Camdens lived. Visitors would have been shown this portrait along with the other portraits of the family. Portraits of this period were a powerful medium to convey social and cultural values and were very much intended to be seen. So, the first Earl of Camden was pretty much showing off, saying in painted form, "I can afford to have my family painted, and look at my wonderful, well-behaved and refined children. Look at how well I've raised them to be fine citizens of the world." Would the children have been this serious? Well, probably not. Do you sit around like that? No. This represents them at their best behaviour, showing off their skills, a little bit of tennis and drawing, and adding to the overall boasting of their father. Not going to have a painting of his children misbehaving, is he? Our portrait, painted by Nathanial Dance, would have, and continues to prove, that the first Earl of Camden was and is powerful, important, and good enough to be immortalised in painting forever, as well as his family. And look, it worked. Here we are talking about him today. Do you think we'd be doing that without the artwork? Now, time for your challenge. Having had a look at some art, how about having a go at making some yourself? We challenge you to create a portrait. Grab a friend or family member and convince them to sit for you as you create a portrait of them. A few things to think about. How big will you make your portrait? The bigger the better? Good things come in small packages? Where will your portrait be set? What style will you create your portrait in? Will you include other objects in the portrait? What about some dramatic lighting? What message do you want to convey? What expression will the sitter have? Think about the things that you're adding to the artwork. And just like we've been discovering the clues left behind by Nathanial Dance, you'll be leaving clues for people in the future to discover. What title will you give the artwork? Are you going to sign your name on it? And think, who are you trying to impress? And how will you create your portrait to impress them?